Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is Heidi here with She Shed Arts. All right, if you're jumping on, say hi so I know that you're here. Hey, Peggy. How you doing? Good to see you tonight. All right, I have got the most fun design tonight. This design is my Spring Tulips design here, and I am really excited to show this to you guys. So, yeah, it's going to be fun, and I'm glad you stopped by. And, oh, Peggy, I'm so glad you made it. Oh, you are so welcome. So I've got my design here. This is what we're going for tonight, though we are going to do a little bit different color scheme tonight. I wanted to bring in some pretty purple tulips along with the yellow ones. I thought that would be wonderful. We're starting to think about spring here. I know I am anyways. So this is what we're aiming for tonight. This is our template that we're starting with. So this is what's called a design line template. It's an easy dot art template. It's a template that will help you learn how to do dot art in the easiest way possible. So we can turn this into this in just a matter of a little time here this evening. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Hey, Kim, how you doing tonight? Good to see you. All right, so this is our template. And if you have watched me before, you'll know that I paint the majority of my templates black. So I'm starting tonight with a black template. And I did just paint that with social artworking, which is a form of Deco art paint. It's called Mars Black. If you have not seen that in the store, it's one of their private labels, so you may not see that. So any black paint will do. That's just the one that I have an abundance of, so I use it a lot. So good, Kim. I'm so glad you're doing great. So that's one that I use. Any black paint will work. And you can honestly use any color background you want. I just always choose the black because I love the way the colors pop off of that black background. So we're going to get started. I've got my paints all laid out here, and I've got them laid out in the order of how I'll use them. And these are all Deco Art multi-surface satin. I've got canary, purple sunset, apple green, school bus, iris, and turf green. So I've got some really springy colors. We're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with my large Pittsburgh punch set that I've got here. Hey, Randy, good to see you. Starting with the Pittsburgh punch set here tonight. If you have not seen those before, this is that set, and it's one of my favorite dotting tools that I have. I'll also be using some nail art tools here, and possibly this one as well, and maybe even some toothpicks here. So you'll see me using just a little bit of everything. So we're going to start though with the Pittsburgh punch set here. And I've got a rather large one here that we're going to do for the middle dot. You can see that these dots are pretty significant in size. So this will be the one that we will use for that. So we'll start here in the middle. We've got these awesome design lines here that are laser etched into our piece. So it really helps us see where we start with the beginning dots here. So these templates that I have here are brought to us by Diverse Woodworking. So I'm excited to be teaming up with them to do my subscription box where I get all these wonderful templates for you guys. So let's go ahead and get going here. So we're starting, I've got my paints in order, and I'm just going to start with this wonderful canary yellow. Dipping my dotting tool down in here, and we're just going to place it right onto the surface, and I'm really just kissing the surface of that template with that paint. I'm barely even touching my tool in there. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick up a, it's going to be a little bit smaller. So it's a very smaller one, and I'm just going to go right in line. Oh, thanks, Peggy. I love these colors too. Don't they look like spring? So what I'm doing here is I am just going right in line, and I'm just going to hug these colors right up next to that big dot in the middle. And the pattern I'm going to use here is north, south, east, and west. And I'm going to end up with 8 total dots here. So I've got north, south, east, and west, and then I'll put one in the middle between each one. And I'm really just getting enough paint on there just to get that surface dot right on there. There we go. Row number 1. We're ready. Okay, now we're going to move up in size here, and I'm just going to check my size here, and I'm going to go on out to the next color, which is my beautiful apple green. And we are just going to fill in this space here with the apple green, and I love how these colors play off each other. It just reminds me of spring. I love it. And I tell you what, I couldn't ask for anything better than to have these wonderful spring colors in the middle of January. Makes me want the daffodils and tulips and everything else to be coming out. Okay, there we go. So that is our center circle filled up. We just finished this area right here. We're moving on out. So you can see how easy these design lines make it. It really helps to get everything lined up exactly like we need it. Now, we are increasing up in size here with the next go round. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just kind of checking to see what I might need. And what I'm going to do here on the next ones is I'm actually going around here to the bright yellow, and I'm going the next row out, and I am just placing these in between where I had those last green ones. So I call that nesting them in. So it's kind of nested in between, but it's still in this new line row. So it's just a way to get those colors lined up and help us really get the colors right where they need to be. And if you look, we're pretty much lining up with this inner row of circles here. And with the design lines laid out the way they are, it makes it so easy just to go in and line up everything that we need. It's perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a little bit smaller size because I want to fit the next one in, and I want to make sure it's going to get in here in between all of these ones. I got a little bit of off spacing here, so everything that I'm doing here needs to fit in between all of these. And I'm really just placing it right in the middle of the previous ones. Oh, hey, Kim, thank you so much. I know, I love these colors. So I'm just placing this right in between this last row of circles, and those design lines are really helping me stay lined up here to where I'm not really getting out of whack and nothing is out of line here, and it helps me stay really just lined up the way I need to be. Okay, we've got that next one done. There we go. All right, now comes the fun part. We are moving out here into this big area, and we're really going to fill that up. I want to go ahead and go in with our final color here, though, and I am going to use one of my nail art tools because I've got a small little space here. I want to do just a little ring of dots around this outer ring here. So I have to fit my dots in here because I don't want to get into that bigger dot there. So I am really just using a small a nail art tool here. And I am just going to work on going around this circle, and we're going to fit these dots here. And what I'm doing is I'm just going right there at the big dot, and then I'm going to go and fill in the space in between. And what this does is this really helps me keep my spacing lined up so that it doesn't get all crazy and out of order. That's the one thing you'll find with these dot mandalas. They are pretty orderly. And then what I'm going to do is one in between each one. So basically I'm lining up with each of the previous row of dots here. Oops, I missed one. And once I get these all lined up, then I'm going to be able to just go right back in and fill in those empty spots. And we'll just have a nice little row of dots right around this circle row. So it really just helps us stay lined up, and it keeps those right where I need them. All right, so let's go ahead, head on in here, and we're just going to fill this area in, and it just gives us a nice even row of the little accent dots all the way around. our center circle. And I am dipping in each time, dipping into my paint. And the reason I'm doing that, if I don't dip into my paint each time, my dots would get smaller and smaller. And I want them to be really uniform for this circle. So I am dipping into the paint each time. So if I don't dip in, I would offload the paint and the dots would decrease in size. And I want them to all be really uniform. So we're just going to keep on dipping. So there we go. We have a nice circle of dots around that main center circle. All right. Is this the February box? Yes, it is, Sharon. So this is one of the designs in the February box. This is design number 1 for February. So if you order this box before January 25th, you will receive this in your first box in February. So there's 3 different designs for this month, and this is one of them. Great question, Sharon. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we're going to go on out. We've got the more of these larger circles here. So these are what's going to make up our tulips here. So we're going to do opposite colors here. And what I want to do, I'm going to do opposite of the yellow. And I really want, let's see, a darker purple here. And I'm just going to kiss the surface of that. And my goal is just to fill in that circle without going over the edge of it. And I'm going every other one here on this because we want a variety of tulips in our little garden here. And then we'll come back in and we'll fill in with some yellow. Those of you who are local here, this is the perfect Eaton Eagles tulip patch, isn't it? I love it. Okay, so now we're going to go with the light yellow. So this is a fun color scheme for me, right back to my high school days. Purple and gold. And add in that touch of green for that spring feel. Oh, thanks, Randy. Sharon, Randy put the link there for you to check out the templates there. It's right below you in the comments. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Okay, we've got that last large one finished. All right. Now, got those in there. We're going to go ahead and place a green dot in here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and fill in with the light green. And I'm just checking sizes here. I really want to go a little bit bigger than that one. The one there that I just had was my inner circle size. And I'm really just looking to fill that space up a little bit more. And we're going to go with the light green on this one. Because we have the dark green right there around that inner circle. So I want to put the light green in here to contrast against that. A lot of what I do with my color choices is a matter of pulling the color throughout the entire design so that it kind of leads your eye around on the design and you can see everything that's going on. I don't like to have just one color patch in one area. I want to be able to see those colors throughout. That's my favorite thing. Picking the colors and then using them throughout. So that's just my style, how I prefer it. All right, there we go. Love that. So Sharon, yes, actually you can. They don't go for sale though. The one that is in the February box will not be for sale again until we're done teaching it in the class. So they're delayed a month from when you get them. So if you want them first, you want to join the subscription box for sure so that you can get your hands on these designs. You can get them eventually. They will be available the following month. So first month that they're released, they're available to the subscription box individuals. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go on out to these outer circles here. It's going to be real important that our large circles are dry before we come back to do the top dots for the tulips. So we're going to go ahead and cover this outer area of tulips. So I'm speaking of this area right here. We'll go ahead and cover those in with dots so that it's going to give us a little bit of extra dry time to make sure that we're able to get our top dots in tonight. Now, I did the dark purple and the light yellow. So on this go round out here, we're going to do the light purple and the dark yellow. And we're just going to alternate just like we did on the other. And there are more dots on this outer circle, so it's not really that it matters what color I start with on these. They do, we'll just alternate colors back and forth, but it really won't correlate with what's going on here in the middle. It'll just be the matter of us having those alternating colors will be the biggest thing that I'm looking for on that. Oh, you're welcome, Sharon. Okay. And then with this one, once we get all the lighter purples in here, we're going to get that dark yellow into contrast. So this lighter purple is iris. That is the color that is. So these are, just as a follow-up here, they are Deco Art Americana multi-surface satins. I love using these for my dot art for the simple fact that they have a wonderful satin finish to them when you're done. Now, the majority of the time I do coat my my projects with a sealer, a spray, but I like the fact that these paints are the satin blend because I think they just show up brighter and more vibrant on my piece. So I pretty much always choose Deco Art as my brand of choice. I find that the Deco Art paints are phenomenal simply because right out of the bottle, I don't have to add anything to them. I don't have to mix them or thin them or anything like that. I generally, overall, will get the exact consistency I need for dot art right out of the bottle. And the amount of colors that Deco Art offers is phenomenal. So I don't really, I don't worry about having my colors I need, and I don't worry about the consistency either, because it really is just what it needs. Sharon, aren't Diverse Woodworking's designs the best? I tell you, they're just the best company to work with. I love it. And I tell you, these templates that I have through them are just the best. I can't ask for anything better with the design lines. It's phenomenal. It's perfect for dot art. Okay, you guys, I am going to need to run the hairdryer here for just a second. So I'm sorry it's going to be loud, but I need to do that too, so we can do some top dotting here. Turn the dryer on just a minute here. Okay, a little bit of less dry time there. Okay, now we're going to go in and we're going to do some fun swooshing here. So if you have not seen me do swooshing yet, you're going to love this. This is fun. Oh, does she have one of, oh. Oh, you're welcome, Randy. It's true. Diverse woodworking is the best. Okay. Does she have one of those heat dryers? I love those. Yeah, tell her to send me the link to that, because my dryer is really loud and it takes forever. Okay, I'm going to pull out a couple of I have some DIY swoosh tools that I use. If you have not seen me do swooshes before, you're going to love this. This is just a lot of fun. Okay, I've got a couple different sizes here. So these DIY swoosh tools that I have are basically just pencils with ball earrings in the end of them. So it's just a fun tool. I love to use these. And, oh, $11, that's awesome. And quiet too? Oh yeah, I need one of those. So it's got ball earrings in the end here in the eraser, and they make the best swooshes. So if you don't know what a swoosh is, you're about to learn. So we have to make our stems and our leaves on our tulips, right? So that's what we're about to do. So we're going to start with, we're going to do dark green, light green. We're going to go every other. So basically my dark green is going to go on the purple. And what I want to do is make my stem go down to the bottom here. And so basically, I'll try to get my hand out of the way here. I'm just running a little stem down there. And with this, what happens is when you load the tulip here with paint, as you drag it down, it offloads the paint and becomes smaller. And it's what's called a swoosh. So for today, it is becoming a stem. So for our purposes here today, it makes a great stem. And we're going to do light green on the yellow. And then we're going to come back in and do some fun little leaves on each one of these tulips. Okay, that's our swoosh stems. Now let's go back in and we're going to put some fantastic leaves on here. I'm looking to see what size I want. So I'm just going to do same color with these. I'm going to go around and do the dark green. And it's just basically doing the opposite. And I think I went the different way than what I wanted to, but that's okay. We'll continue this way on these, and we'll go the other way on the others. So we're just putting the little tulip leaves on here. And these are kind of random. They're not anything that I specifically need to go. I just want to make it look like a little tulip garden. And I am angling these. And we're going to angle the other ones the other way. So you can see how versatile these templates are. I don't know if you saw some of the other designs that I did with this template, but they were totally different than this. So it's just amazing because you can take these templates and turn them into all kinds of different things. I think at last count with this one design template, I had maybe 6 different designs. It was amazing. Okay, I'm taking these down the other way and making them wider at the top than at the end. And we've got our alternating color here. So that gives us that contrast there in our little garden. All right, that's filling out really nice, isn't it? Oh, Kim, thank Thank you. Oh, Randy, I have 2 Lazy Susans, and I just don't use them. I should, though. Yes, absolutely. I will be doing an in-person class at the retreat in July. I'm so excited about that. Okay, guys, one more time with the dryer here, and we should be good to top dot then. Hold on one second. Okay. Alrighty, sorry about that. I know that was noisy. Okay, so I do have a little bit of wet paint, but I think we can get by with some top dots here. Let me decide what size I want. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to go opposite. So here we did the dark purple and the light yellow. So we're going to do dark yellow, light purple, and kind of go around that way. And I tell you, I got to do one more with the dryer, guys. I'm sorry. It's just not quite dry enough. Hold on. I know I needed Jeopardy music, didn't I? Do, 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 do. I know. I keep my day job. I'm not a very good singer. Okay, guys, so let's look at what we're going to do here for this then. These are still a little bit wet. Hopefully we'll be okay because I'm not going to press down really hard on these. But I'm going to start with these inner green circles here because I do want to get some nice little top dots on there. And typically, you know, what I recommend with top dotting is you want to make sure that I usually wait about 24 hours before I top dot, but I really want you guys to see this so you can see the final outcome of this. It turns out so pretty. So we're going to get these greens top dotted. And honestly, I could probably top dot the center for you so you could see that. So with me, I tell you, I love to top dot my projects simply because it's like putting the jewelry on an outfit. You know how when you get all dressed up and you're going to go out, you might look really, really nice. But once you put the jewelry on, that just finishes everything and it just makes your outfit look amazing. So that's what happens when you put the top dots on. It's like the jewelry on your fancy outfit. So let's go ahead. I do want to put light purple in the middle there. I'm checking the size here. I want to just check my center. I'm going to put light purple on the center simply because we have dark purple around the center here. So I want the light purple to contrast against that. I'm trying to be real steady here so we can get that top dot on there. And then basically what I'm going to do is contrast each of the others. So on the dark purple, I'm going to put some yellow. What I will do here on these, I do want to go a little bit smaller. And I think that's too big. Let me turn around here. So I'm just doing a smaller ball dotter here. And the whole thing with top dots is you want to leave a little room to see the dot below. Just enough to give it some contrast, but still see what's going on underneath. Because that's what gives it that effect of having the jewelry on an outfit. You know, when you put your jewelry on, you can still see everything underneath, right? Same thing with the top dots. You want to make sure that you're leaving enough space to see the color underneath. So this is the part that I get to doing that I almost hold my breath. So I always tell my people when they're doing their class, make sure you're breathing. I don't want anybody passing out. So it's the same for me. I get to doing these little baby top dots, and I have to hold my breath there. Okay. Awesome. So there you can kind of start to see how that looks. Now, on the light green, on the greens, I'm just basically doing the opposite green on top of these. And I've got the light green here. And I'm just putting the dark green right on top. I am still using the same size tool I used on the previous one. I'm just pushing down a little farther to make a bigger dot. So that's one of the things you just learn over time, is the pressure of your tool and how far down you can push to make a bigger dot. And that's part of what I'm doing here. I'm using that same size tool that I made that little bitty one with, just not as much pressure. Okay. Now we've got the dark yellow. I want to go light purple there. And I'm really just doing, on the dark I'm doing light, on the light I'm doing dark. So that'll make sense here when I get the other row going. But you'll notice as I get more and more of these top dots on here, it just really changes the look completely. Okay, now remember that the purple one in here was a little smaller, so we're just going to look and see maybe what we used here, and we're going to go just a little bit smaller. And we're using the dark yellow on the light purple. So we're opposite here on these inner ones. We traded the dark for the light there. And that's going to give us a good mix of those colors throughout. I'll make that one just a little bigger. Now when we get back out here to the leaves, we can actually do some top swooshes on top of those leaves. Now, I've got these little bitties here. So, I always debate over whether I'm going to top dot on little bitty dots. You don't like the top dots, right? Oh my gosh, I do. On this design, though, we have to have them simply because that's what's going to make it look like tulips. Yes, when you see it finished, you're going to go, oh yeah, there's tulips there. And you'll like it. So I've got the little bitties here, and I'm just putting the little bit of yellow, and I'm actually going to go smaller than that one because it's just a little bitty tip I'm using here. And this even could be a toothpick. Let's do a toothpick because I don't want to use so much that I am covering up that dot. I don't want to cover it up. I just want that hint of that color because I want to see the green around there. Okay, takes a little longer on these tiny ones because they are so small. Now you can see I'm not redotting on these. These are so small that it's not making much of a difference going from one to the next without redipping. It's not changing the size too much. Okay, so there's that one. Now, on this next set, we're going to offset these top dots just a little bit. So what I want to do is the dark purple and the light yellow here, so that we're going opposite each other. And we're going to offset so that the dot is hanging down at the bottom, because we want it, oops, I almost went on the wrong one. We want to make it look like the tulip is opening. And so when you put the dot offset, it gives that illusion of it being bigger at that other end. Okay, now we'll go with the light yellow. I'm trying not to push too hard. These are still a little wet. I need that high-powered dryer, don't I? Okay. Okay, now we'll move out here to the outer ones, and we're going with the dark yellow. And these are still wet. So I'm barely pushing on these. So I'll probably have to go back and just redo my circles here a little bit, just to make sure they're round, simply because they're still wet. It's hard to do top dots on top of wet, because you just don't get as nice as circles. But you guys are going to get the idea here of what that looks like. I'll show you on the other one when we're done, so that you can see. Okay, now we'll come back with the light purple. And we're going to get a little bit more light purple. Purple, yes. Jamie, you're funny. Yeah, I do need to ask Santa for that. I can't wait for Santa to bring that to me, though. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get it myself. Santa's got a whole more 11 months before he comes again. But I will tell the birthday fairy to bring it. My birthday's next month. So maybe the birthday fairy can bring it to me. And I can have the high-speed drying tool. Because I sure could use it. Okay, you guys, there we go. We got our tulips. They're a little wonky, but we got them. Oops, let me... Okay, now we are going to top swoosh here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use the opposite color of what we've got there. So, but we're going the same direction. And we're just using the small swoosh tool. I need a smaller one. So that one I didn't like, and I do know my swooshes are dry, so I can fix that. I'm just going to go back in and re-swoosh there. Take it off of there. All right, now I am just going to do the larger ones here, and then we'll go back and get the smaller ones with a different size. So these are just going to give the illusion of a 3D stem here. Oops, I forgot some leaves there. I'm working with the same color here, so let's go ahead and do that right now. I don't know how I missed those. Okay. Now we'll come back in with one of these nail tools, and we'll finish up the dark green, light green here. Yes, definitely needed that smaller tool on that other leaf. Shelley, this purple is your favorite color, isn't it? All right, there we go. All right, now I still got the little tool in my hand, so I'm going to go ahead and get the leaves on these with the darker green. All right, how's everybody liking this? Doesn't this look like a breath of spring? I love it. I know it's only January, but I'm already thinking about flowers and Easter and all that fun stuff. I think that's that one I redid, I think. So I'm not gonna top dot that one yet. It's still wet. We'll come back and get that here in a minute. And then I think I'm going to go down in size a little bit on this one, because that other one just seemed a little big. So you can see on these leaves how the top swooshes really add that detail in there. Okay, how's that look? Pretty awesome, huh? Okay, so the only last thing I have to do is just little dots in the middle of the tulips here. I'm going to show you on the other one because these are way too wet. It's 2 layers too wet. So I'm going to show you here. Basically what I did was these here, and that was just walking the dots down. Now I am going to go ahead and do this outline here with the yellow. So I wanted to show you what those look like. I don't think the other's going to be dry enough, but we'll go ahead and make our way around here with the yellow so that we can finish this off and make it look really nice. Let's see, I want to go, I think, with the green one. So I want to start here with the, I like the yellow on the edge, so I want to do a dark purple underneath. We have the dark purple in here, so we're going to edge this with dark purple, and then we'll top dot it with yellow. And then that way that yellow, the light yellow, will be out here on the edge because we've got the dark yellow here. So we're going to top dot, or we're going to dot here with the dark purple, and then when it's dry we'll come back in and put those light yellow dots on top of there. So we're working our way around here just to get our spacing in here, and then we'll come back and fill in. A lot of what it is just kind of lining things up to where you know that you're going to have equal amounts here. Now what I'll do on these others, I think I can fit 2 dots going down on each side. So let's see. Yeah, 1, 2, I can fit there. And I do want to redip each time because I want them to be very uniform in size. So you can see when you're doing that, when you're doing the uniform dots, it does take a little bit longer, but it's worth it for the effect that it gives. So again, just to recap, this is in the February Easy Dot Art box, and the information on taking a look at that box is at the in the top of the comments there somewhere. Randy put that in there for us so you guys could take a look at that. If you have not seen that, our my Dot Art subscription box is supplied through Diverse Woodworking, and it is a design line laser etched template that you get. You get 3 new designs every month, and you also get a private Facebook page with me as your instructor. So in that Facebook group, we do the 3 designs per month, and on the designs that are like this with the mandala, I actually do 2 different forms of teaching there. So if you've never done dot art before, I think you'll find it pretty easy to learn how to do, because basically not only do I do a live video instructing you on how to do the dot art, but I also do step-by-step slides for the designs that I show in the group. So you get more in-depth understanding of how to do the designs that I'm showing you in the group. So, you know, you get your products that you buy, and it's practically like you get me for free. So it's a great deal. So that information is at the top in the comments. How do you walk the dots down? Okay, sorry, I didn't see your. Oh, Randy, you're liking the top dots. Oh, Peggy, I'm so glad you're loving it. I knew you would if you watched. I'm so glad that I got back to you and on your comment, so you were able to get on tonight. That's wonderful. So walking the dots basically means that you load your paint up once and you dot, dot, dot. So you are offloading paint as you go. I'll show you a little sample here in a minute. I'll get all the way around here, and I'll show you what walking the dots is. So basically, it's just a way to make your dots decrease in size as you go down on whatever project area that you're working on. Boy, this looks real pretty with the purple around it. I'm loving that purple outline. So this one had the yellows as the outline. I'm liking the purples. I think that's pretty. The outlines on these, it really makes it. Okay. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Look at that. Okay, so. Oh, awesome, Sharon. I'll be so excited to have you. Okay, so, Peggy, let me show you. Let me find a little piece to dot on here. What I do for my practice, and I don't have one sitting here. When I do practice dotting, I practice on, oh, here's one. I practice on poster board. So basically what I do is I just cut out poster board pieces in little circles, just so they're easy for me to dot on. And then that way I can practice different schemes and colors. It's a lot of the time how I'm picking out my color scheme. So when I go through and I say, okay, I want these 6 colors together, typically if I don't know if it's something that I'm really going to like, I will lay them out onto a piece of poster board so that I can see what it looks like. So let's take a look. We've got some really bright colors here. These are top dots that we just did. I'm going to show you, we're going to do a little dot walking around some of these bright colors here. So basically with a dot walking, let me get you in the screen here on that. With dot walking, what that is, say I want to frame this one little dot here, and I want to have a nice contrasting color. So I'm going to do some dot walking around it to frame it. So I'm going to start at the top. I've loaded my tool with paint, and I'm just going to dot, 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 dot. And see how the dots get smaller in size? That is walking the dots. So if I want to do the other side, I'm going to offload on that top dot again, and then down, 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 down. And you can see how that really frames that dot and really makes it beautiful. So it's like a little necklace around the dot. And when you get a whole piece with those dots walked on there like that, it's just phenomenal. When I first started practicing dot art as something that I wanted to do, I fell in love with these walked dots. When you see a whole piece full of these walked dots, it's like lace. And I really, when I would see all these mandalas with all this dot walking on there, I was just in love with it. And I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And that's one of the things that really attracted me to this art, was this type of thing right here. So not only can you do that, but if you wanted to do a little bit fancier, you could... let me see if I have a bigger size here. You could go up in size, and we would pick another color, and we could do another row right above here. So it's just layering up, and you could see how this lacy effect starts to happen. And if you get one of these dots with 3 or 4 rows of those lacy dots around there, and it's all the way around on the mandala, it's absolutely beautiful. It's fun, isn't it, Peggy? I know, I love it. So that just is an idea of how you do walking the dots. And this is what I was talking about here on this design. These are actually walked dots. They're just walked down in a straight row. So what I did, and I'm not going to be able to do it tonight on this, it's too wet. But basically what I did was I went in here and just placed my first dot, 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 dot without redipping in my paint. And it gave that illusion of that tulip opening up there. So it just gives a little illusion on this piece. Now, typically I would do something like that with walked dots, but that was just a different way to do that. So I hope you guys had fun tonight with this tulip. I love it, the spring tulip design. Once it dries and it's all done, I will put those other little dots on there. Make sure you watch my page, because I will post that final piece on there, and you can see how that looks with the little walk dots on there as well. And remember, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer those for you. Thank you all for stopping by tonight. I look forward to seeing y'all soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye.